So let's get into the recap of WWE Monday Night Raw, which was this past Monday night, which was the 21st of March. It was out in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, which is always a rowdy and intense crowd. So I love when they're in places like that, like New York or Philly, or those rowdy places where they get into it. They love their wrestling and they really get into it. So we start out with Stephanie McMahon comes out, starts babbling on about some nonsense. I don't know. I wasn't even listening about how Triple H won't be there. I don't know. She was babbling. Reigns comes out, and it's funny. If you notice now, the last couple times Roman Reigns has appeared, he is not coming through the audience anymore. He's now coming out of the back like everybody else. So I wonder if they're doing away with that just for the fact that the fans don't like him. I wonder if they're worried about him in general, if some idiot fan doesn't realize that it's all a work and really doesn't like him and tries to push him or something. Or I wonder what that is, or if they are going to be doing is there a heel turn coming? I wonder. I mean, they might as well do a heel turn because he's pretty much a heel anyway. He gets booed more than any heel they have on the roster. Speaking of which, he starts talking and he mentions a part where he says he's going to beat Triple H at WrestleMania for the title. And the boos just exploded from the audience. They did not like that, and that is not a good sign. 2 weeks going into your biggest event of the year, and your supposedly quote unquote babyface in Roman Reigns is still continuously being booed by your WWE Universe faithful. Whenever it's mentioned that he will win the title, or that he confronts a heel, as in Triple H, or even Stephanie. This is very alarming for the WWE, and I wonder if they're going to address it once and for all and stop trying to do this push, because it's obviously not working. And it is so actually pathetic and sad to watch the WWE go down this road and continue to try to this push. It's been, 2 years now? Maybe about a year and a half. It'll be almost a year. No, a year and a half, because last Royal Rumble when they had him win it. And then it's been a train wreck since then. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do with that. But, with 2 weeks left until WrestleMania, it's been the worst build-up to a WrestleMania pay-per-view in a very long time. The pay-per-view is not lining up to be that great. I am happy with a few matches they've been building up to. And I am kind of really interested to see some superstars that have been added to the card be on it. And I'll get into that in a little bit. But so basically, Reigns comes out, confronts Stephanie. He's booed continuously. It's not good. Not a good sign going into WrestleMania 32. After that, we get into, they have a Kevin Owens, AJ Styles match. These two are phenomenal. They're just, Kevin Owens, since he's come up from NXT, has been one of the most consistent over superstars they have on the roster. I am so glad they have him with the Intercontinental title. I would love to see him start getting into a world picture scene, maybe by the summertime, maybe by the fall, especially when Seth Rollins comes back from his injury, which hopefully will be soon, because we need Seth Rollins to save the WWE. Excuse me. But it was a very good match. It was going very well. Jericho comes out, starts his AJ Styles chant, distracts AJ Styles, and Kevin Owens rolls him up. Pulls the tights, whatever, he gets the pin. He pins AJ Styles clean. Just a great match. Those two work very well, and I hope that they get to showcase those two a little bit more in matches on TV or on some of the pay-per-views. Then we get in, after that, Ziggler, Miz, and Sami Zayn come out, all saying that they want a shot at the title. They want to take on Owens at WrestleMania, blah, blah, blah. Owens escapes, says, you three could fight in a triple threat match, and the winner will face me at WrestleMania. Okay, great. Then we get a little segment with Dean Ambrose and Terry Funk kind of giving him the chainsaw. Just as last week, we saw Mick Foley give him the bat with the barbed wire. It's kind of like Legends passing the torch to Dean Ambrose. I don't know. Ambrose is starting to grow on me a little bit. I still find out of the Shield, Seth Rollins is the most talented, best mic work. I think he will be the one that goes the furthest out of those three. Roman Reigns, I do not like. I'm very clear. I like him as a person. I feel bad for him because he's a young guy. He's got the look. He's got the, he's got that Samoan Rock kind of look, but he just doesn't have the Rock's persona or charisma or wrestling ability, to be honest with you. I wish they would maybe try to build him a different way, but we'll see. And Dean Ambrose is starting to grow on me. I still find him a little annoying, but he's starting to grow on me a little bit. And I don't know if that's just the lack of talent on the roster that I'm starting to gravitate a little bit towards Dean. But, you know, is he the next Mick Foley? Is he the next Terry Funk? I don't think so. So that's kind of odd that they're passing the torch to him, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Then we get into the League of Nations come out. Again, waste of talent. They come out, start blabbering something, and then the awesome New Day come out, confront them, have some really good little jabs at them. The New Day are the most over, probably one of the most over things in the WWE right now, and that's why they just keep pushing them, and they should. Kofi, Xavier, and Big E are great on the mic, great in-ring workers. And they, you know, I wasn't a big fan of New Day when it first came out because I thought they kind of missed the boat when they first came out. They were trying too much to be baby faces, but then once they realized that they weren't getting over like they wanted to get over, they made a great turn. And I think that's the turn that they needed to do at Roman Reigns a year ago. When they realized he wasn't getting over, they had to do that. It's kind of like when Rocky Maivia, and if no one recognizes that name, that was The Rock when he first came up to the WWE. He was Rocky Maivia. And they pushed him as this babyface, third-generation superstar, and he was booed so much. I remember watching live shows of him and people chanting, "Die, Rocky, die." I mean, that's pretty intense. But, you know, The Rock took that and became then The Rock. He joined the League of Nations. He joined the Nation of Domination and started to become The Rock, the character that he would evolve into and, you know, go on to become one of the greatest, biggest household wrestling names in the world. Even I think more people know The Rock than they do Hulk Hogan now, or at least they're equal. But The Rock has been very much more successful in probably the world of Hollywood and to a degree wrestling than Hulk Hogan. But there's that transition. They never did it with Reigns, and I wonder why. But New Day did, and New Day has now blown up to be probably the most over group in the WWE, and I love it. So they had a match. It was Big E against what was his name? Oh, Rusev. There you go. Now, one thing was weird when New Day came out. The League of Nations went outside the ring and looked like they were keeping their distance. But why? There's 4 of you and there's 3 of them. You outnumber them already. Why are they acting like that? I don't know. Weird booking. But they have Big E goes over Rusev. That's fine. They got another week to build this up, and I mean, New Day is not going to lose the titles. I'm curious to know if they're going to have a 4th member wrestle with them, or if it's just going to be 3-on-3, or will it be a 4-on-4 match? And I wonder who that 4th member, if it'll be someone brought up from NXT, will it be someone brought from the outside, like someone that used to be there? I mentioned earlier in a podcast earlier, I would love to see Kurt Angle brought into that role. I think that would be hilarious with those 3. Or, you know, will someone like a Shelton Benjamin return? Or will it be maybe an R-Truth? Or, you know, are they going to elevate someone to be with New Day, bring someone in, or bring someone up from NXT? I'm curious to see what they do, if they do anything for that 4th spot. Unless it'll be a 3-on-3, and maybe Barrett won't wrestle, and adios after that. Excuse me, guys. Then we had Jericho versus Fandango. Who cares? Fandango's garbage. AJ came out and did a whole Y2 jackass thing, and they had a confrontation. Jericho still won. Kind of a throwaway match, but I guess it's to build up more of that heat for WrestleMania, since AJ said he's wrestled all over the place, all over the world, but never wrestled at WrestleMania. So now there's going to be Styles versus Jericho at WrestleMania. So that should be interesting and a really good match if they give them enough time, and hopefully everything's crisp. I think that could be great. I love AJ Styles, always have, even when he was in TNA. It's the only reason I watched TNA back in the day. One of the reasons. There were only a couple other ones. So then Kevin Owens comes out and he introduces his triple threat match, but instead of introducing Ziggler, Miz, and Zayn, he introduces Stardust, Sin Cara, and Zack Ryder. It was kind of like a spoof, like these guys deserve a title shot when, you know, they're barely on TV, and, you know, the announcers were kind of playing them down a lot, which I didn't like, because I think Stardust is really good. I do like Cody, and I am a huge Zack Ryder fan, probably because Zack Ryder is from where I grew up, Merrick, Long Island. He's a Merrick kid. Granted, he's younger than me, but, you know, he trained out here on Long Island. He trained at another school. As I've mentioned, I trained in the early 2000s out in Holbrook with the HWA, Hardcore Wrestling Alliance. I believe Ryder trained at a different school That was somewhere in Nassau County or maybe Deer Park, somewhere around there, which is like right into Suffolk County. So, but we both grew up in the same town, Merrick, Long Island. So I do have an attachment to Zack Ryder because he is from Long Island and he is a Long Island kid, and I'm really excited to see that he's going to be at WrestleMania in a 7-person ladder match for the Intercontinental title. I'm so happy for him. I don't think he's going to win it, but I would just go ballistic if he did pull it off. That'd be awesome. So we had that. Then we had Charlotte come out. She fought Natalya. Nothing really major. Charlotte went over. They had Banks and Lynch on the announce table, going back and forth. It was a regular match, just building up those three for the WrestleMania Divas title match. Vince McMahon came out and addressed the Shane McMahon Undertaker match at WrestleMania and said something to the effect that if Undertaker didn't beat Shane, it would be Undertaker's last WrestleMania match. Now, I don't know where they're going with that. Is this going to be Taker's last match? Has he already told them he's retiring after this? Because then that would make sense. So, I mean, if Undertaker's already said that he's done, he's retiring, then Shane will go over. If Taker says he's got a couple more in him, then he's not going to lose. Shane will do the job, as he probably should, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot of interference and stuff like that. Again, it's just a weird match that they set up for WrestleMania. I'll get into it more when I get into my WrestleMania preview, but I don't understand why Undertaker would even take this match, but it is what it is. Then we got into the main event, Dean Ambrose versus Braun Strowman of the Wyatt family. A couple things I picked up. One, there was a very loud, audible, "This is boring" chant. So you know when you get these matches and they're just off the hook, they're just intense and crazy, you get that, "This is awesome." No, this chant had, "This is boring," chanted for a good 5 minutes, it seemed like. I gotta be honest, I know they played Ambrose's music at the end. I don't know who won this match, because I'll be honest, I was doing something else at my computer. I totally did not care. I could care less about Braun Strowman. Like I said, I'm just getting into Dean Ambrose. I knew he was going to go over. They weren't going to really kill him because I knew they didn't say anything about Lesnar being there. But just I don't even know who won. I don't even know how it ended. I don't know who won. I heard the bell, and then I heard Ambrose's music, and I was like, okay, I guess Ambrose won. I don't even care who won. It was kind of a boring match, as the audience was letting us very well audible chant, so we knew that it was a boring match. But that was Raw, and again, it's just a very weak build to WrestleMania 32. I know they're very depleted on talent because of injuries, but that's their fault. That is the WWE's fault for not building the other talent they have on the card. That's why they don't have enough talent, because they don't build enough talent. They have tons of talent on the roster, but they don't build it up enough. So when you get a John Cena and a Seth Rollins to go out with injury, who are you going to fill it with? You got Roman Reigns, who's not over with the crowd, the audience hates. Dean Ambrose, the crowd likes, but you got him going against Brock Lesnar, who the crowd loves. If the Undertaker versus Shane, that's totally out of left field. No one understands. You know, poor Adrian Neville got injured, so his little mini push that could have been coming is now halted. Barrett's out the door because he doesn't like his direction, but you know what? How about you try not getting injured every 5 seconds, and maybe you'll get a nice, decent push. The New Day is the only thing they have. Kevin Owens, AJ Styles. You know, they haven't built enough. They haven't built enough talent or made them that important to replace the top talent that they're losing to injury. That is only the WWE's fault, no one else's. So when people say, "Oh, they're short on talent," that's their fault. And this is what they get stuck with. They get stuck with a WrestleMania 32 with very little to no build leading up to it. They've had like 6 weeks. It's been the most boring 6 weeks leading up to WrestleMania. The matches are okay. Nothing outstanding or incredible. But we'll get into that further when we get into a WrestleMania preview. I don't want to go into a whole WrestleMania rant right now. But that was my recap of Monday Night Raw from this past Monday night, which was the 21st.